So here we are with another Spock Alberta update. This time featuring my SW9, which has come back from Broadway Limited Imports after a quick check over. And they say there's nothing wrong with it. It still operates a little intermittently, but it's I think that's mostly due to the electrical properties of my track rather than the engine. And anyway, it's nice to have it because of its beautiful sound, even if I am just running it in DC, sorry. So this update's going to look at some of the changes I've made. I haven't done a video for 2 or 3 months now, and an update video anyway. And so there's been a lot of changes, some of which are indirectly passing by the screen as we speak. So with that, let's get started. So this is the new grain handling station, and I'll right after this shot I'll show a couple pictures of the original in Vulcan, Alberta that I'm kind of semi-copying. This of course is the classic Walthers kit, concrete grain elevators. It's usually ADM, and I've assembled it, painted it roughly in the colors that I saw in Vulcan, and I've renamed it instead of, so I've called it Frontier. The actual in Vulcan is Pioneer, but I didn't want to get myself into copyright troubles. And of course we're not in Vulcan, Alberta, we're in Spock, Alberta, so here we go. And I put this small Blair line kit office. It's going to be the office, and the tractor that I've had for quite a while. This is a Rick's kit grain elevator, and then I built these silos from scratch. The outer ones are mailing tubes, and the inner one is from a paper towel tube, and the frames were built using scratch built using balsa wood. And here is again a little office, United Farmers of Alberta, and some figures I put around, so it's got a kind of nice decoration here. And this scene's been completed with another wooden loading dock, a observation tower. I'm not sure is an HO scale, but it's kind of looks good there. That I picked up in a hobby store remainder bin, and for now a crossbuck for the crossing, which is going to come down here. And the last piece I've added is this train shed. It's only in temporarily, as you can see on the sides, with supported on a couple of pieces of foam core. But anyway, that's something I've wanted in that corner for quite some time, to start filling in this portion of the layout. It's kind of a design issue here, and in some sense I don't know whether I'm going to do anything about it or not, but the grain stuff is so big that it effectively blocks all the sight lines to the back of the layout. You really have to be almost on top of things to see anything that's going to be happening there at the back. I'll think about that one for a long time. It would be quite a job to pull everything up and move things around so that the grain elevator was at the back, and the passenger train, for example, the passenger site, which is that white piece of paper with the two shelters, and a telephone booth was moved to the front. That would be quite a bit of work to make that happen, and so I don't think I'm going to do it, but it's something to think about. Of course, I couldn't resist showing you some of the sort of other projects I got going that aren't associated with the main layout. This was the wooden train that has been for a long time at the back of the layout and is now on a shelf beside it. And my nephew and his partner gave me a bunch of seated figures. Unfortunately, they were O scale, and so what I've done is put them together on top of the wooden train, and I think the result is kind of interesting, kind of fun, and there's some in pairs, and some of them are talking, some of them are not talking to each other. Anyway, it was kind of a fun addition to this wooden train, and really made it into a talking piece. To end things, I'd seen a number of comments on YouTube layout videos of people complaining that trains were too long for the layout. So I decided to try an experiment. This is every piece of working rolling stock that I have. There are a couple in the shop, 3 in the shop, 2 box cars, and the scale model trains tanker you see running behind, and that little 40-footer President's Choice should be in the shop as well, because things don't work very well. Let's try this again. Not to my surprise, should be to nobody's surprise, the scale model trains couplers gave way. The scale model trains has, in my opinion, beautiful models, wonderfully detailed, exquisitely made, and the couplers, let's just say I'm in a program to convert them to KD. Anyway, this is every piece of rolling stock that I own on the layout, and as you can probably see, it takes up about half the oval. Logistical problems notwithstanding, maybe it is a bit much for a 4x8 oval to have this many cars in a train, but it is kind of fun to see. And except for the, obviously, logistical problems has just happened here. Anyway, that's all for the next time. Again, all for this time. Like, comment, please, and subscribe, obviously. And until the next time, maybe a month or so, when I actually get down to doing some work again, live long and prosper.